Hello, my most amazing artists. Today we are starting a new project that talks about lines like we did before and those new colors we talked about a couple weeks ago, the primary colors. When we mixed our Play-Doh together, we started 3 special colors, those first colors or those primary colors. That's your red, yellow, and blue. So we're gonna take what we know about lines, we're gonna take straight lines and use horizontal and vertical direction and primary colors and created artwork inspired by the artist Pete Mondrain. On this assignment, I put a little cartoon animation of all his famous works, how he went from really realistic painting to really abstract, which is what we're doing. And abstract is when you kind of break things down to its simplest shapes and colors. Pete Mondrian believed all art could be boiled down into simple line and primary colors. He liked very straight lines, he liked vertical lines, and he liked horizontal lines, and he loved the primary colors. So watch the little animation, and then there's a little movie that tells a bit more about the artist Pete Mondrian that takes about 11 minutes, a little bit longer, but it's really interesting to learn about the artist we're inspired by. So when you watch that, you're ready to make our inspired piece from Pete Mondrian. So what you'll need is a square piece of white paper. We used 8 by 8 in school, but you can use whatever you have. You want to make it square. Then you need some black strips of paper. Maybe mom or dad or whoever's at home can help you cut these, or I can set some up for you to pick up from the from the office too if you want to. These are 1/2-inch strips. It doesn't really matter as long as they're straight. You don't want anything too thick or too thin. And then you'll need some markers. Make sure you have those primary color markers, and those are red, blue, and yellow. And those are the only color markers you need. So I'm just gonna put the rest of them aside, and you will need some glue stick. So what we wanna do is we wanna take our black strips of paper, let me set up my section, and start designing something that we like. I'm gonna lay down my strips in vertical arrangements, and it's okay if it goes off my paper a little bit. I can trim that later, so you might want a pair of scissors. I'm just gonna start making a design, putting my strips horizontally and vertically, never diagonal. Pete Mondrian did not like a diagonal line. You can use as few strips as you want or as many. I want to make sure that you have at least 1 vertical line and 1 horizontal line. If you want to do more than that, that's fine. So I want to do it maybe like this. All right, so once you're happy with your design, and it could be bigger or smaller. Oops, I just messed it up. It's okay, we haven't glued it down yet. Maybe Mrs. Cole changed her mind. I think I had something like that. All right, so I like the way this looks. Ooh, maybe I like that even better. Okay, so it doesn't have to be a picture of anything. We're just laying down our lines until you kind of like the way it looks. Once you have that, take your glue stick and you're gonna glue down, put the glue on the black paper and then glue it down to the white paper. Try your best to make it even and straight, and we'll go from there. So I'm not gonna have you watch me glue my paper. So I'm gonna pause the video. While I'm paused, go ahead and glue down your black strips into the way you like them, making sure they're as straight as you can be. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I kind of changed up my design a little bit because sometimes when you glue, you change your mind, and I did too. So I have some papers hanging off the side. Everything's glued down good. It passes the shake test. I smoothed it down. I should see white rectangles or squares, no triangles. We want to keep those lines straight. So ignore those extra pieces now, and now you want to get at your primary colors. So you want to use your markers and carefully color your primary colors. Pete Mondrian liked the primary colors white and black. He thought those are the purest, simplest colors. So you decide what spaces get colored what. You can leave some spaces white. The rest need to be red, yellow, and blue. Now, if you love red, you can color a lot of red, but somewhere I want to see at least 1 and at least blue and 1 yellow. So at least 1 spot for primary colors, and then you can go crazy. When you're coloring with markers, we haven't really done this a lot in our kindergarten art class. You can color on the tip of your marker, and it goes really kind of scribbly. If you go to the fat side and hold it kind of at an angle, You can color using the fat side of your marker, and you can color a lot neater. You want to layer that color on top of each other and go slow. Your goal is to color all in the same direction, back and forth, to completely cover your square. You might need to go in with the tip and get the edges. So once your square is completely covered neatly, you're ready to go to a different one. So I'm gonna pick a different color. I'm gonna do this one over here. So I'm gonna hold my marker kind of off to the side and press down. So I'm making nice fat lines, and I can kind of go up and down in a vertical line. And if you get a little marker on your black construction paper, that's absolutely okay. So just go up and down, and you can overlap them a little bit. So it's a different way to color. You want to color slow when you color with markers, because sometimes when we color fast, it looks a little scribbly and not as neat as we want to be. Now, Mrs. Cole's been doing this for a while, so I want you to just practice using that side of your marker and covering nice and completely. Because you can see your marker lines usually, so you want to color all in the same direction. So I have my red, I have blue, I need yellow. Let's color this one yellow. So again, we want to go nice and careful and slow, pushing on the side of our marker to make it nice and thick. It goes a lot faster than if you scribble. So we're working on something called craftsmanship. That means taking our time and doing our best coloring. So I have one of each color. I could completely leave this alone if I wanted to, or I could keep coloring and add more color. You have your imagination, and whatever you feel you want to color, you can go right ahead. So maybe I want to add blue down here. So you decide how much color and how much white you want to leave in your Pete Mondrian inspired paper. I want you to practice coloring in the same direction, using the side of your marker to make those nice thick lines. Sometimes you have to go over things more than once to make it nice and saturated and dark. All right, let's see. I think I'm gonna do a red one over here. So go ahead and color, and when you're all done coloring, really look at it and see if you're happy with it. Now, sometimes I color going horizontal, you can go vertical, whatever is easier for you. This is so much easier to do bigger spaces with this than the little scribbles. All right, I wanna do another yellow, maybe up here. Again, there's no right or wrong way to color. Where you put your colors is more about, I want you to practice coloring slowly and neatly, working on that craftsmanship. No scribble scrabble. Okay, I'm gonna call this done. I like this. So before I'm done, I need to trim my edges. So I have all this black paper hanging off, and I don't like the way that looks. So I wanna make it look a little bit more finished. So I'm gonna turn my paper upside down, and I'm gonna take my scissors, and I'm just gonna carefully snip off any extra. That makes it nice and neat. You need to make sure your name is on the back. So if you come to school, I can see it with your name on the back. Something we always do in class. Mrs. Cole forgets most of the time. So we're cutting nice and carefully so we don't cut into our paper like this. All right, that goes in the garbage. And now your paper can go any direction you want. So decide which way it looks the best. I actually really like it like this. So take a picture of your Pete Mondrian inspired artwork and upload it to this assignment. I can't wait to see what you do with the primary colors and some black lines. Have a great time with art. Email me if you have any questions. So goodbye, my most amazing artists.